So today we're gonna draw a flower that represents color wheel, and today we're gonna do a step-by-step drawing. Like, we are using square and we're basically making an imaginary diagonal line, and where they meet diagonally, you know, somewhere in the middle we'll make a point, little dot, using pencils, but I'm gonna use black marker because otherwise you won't see. And we're gonna make a Y shape at the dot that we just did. Big Y. Now we're gonna draw a little petal or leaf shape around the dot. Around each of the Y, making it into a flower. These are going to be our primary colors. What are they? Yellow, blue, and red. And then behind them, we're going to draw shorter lines. These are going to be for our secondary colors. And we're going to draw petals connecting them in the back for orange, green, and purple. And our elementary grades, kindergarten and first, would stop there and just do the simple 6-color wheel, but our advanced classes will continue. 3rd graders, 4th graders, 5th graders, and we'll make another line in between each petal again. And this time we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the tertiary colors, and again we're gonna draw another petal. And the shape of petals is a little pointy, so we do have a beautiful pre-drawn color wheel flower, and we're gonna start in filling it up from primary in the center to secondary to tertiary. So first color we're gonna load up will be yellow. We're gonna load up a nice pure yellow on our brush, and this should be ready to start. So we're gonna start at the 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, the one to the right petal. We're gonna fill it with yellow. And yours is gonna be a pencil line because you can see your painting. Mine is a nice bright permanent marker just because you will be able to see the video better. So let's fill it with yellow. We're gonna wash our brush, and next we're gonna load it up with red. The second on top petal will be red. And this is a good example of what kind of mistakes not to make. So let me just show you. So it's the first 3 petals that we're doing that are on top, not the one in the back, okay? But don't worry, if you made that mistake, you can add some water to it. And then your paper towel, you should have one on your desk, and you can wipe it right out. Don't worry, another color will go over that, so don't worry, it will not show with your beautiful completed painting. And the next color I'm gonna select will be blue. I'm gonna borrow this blue because it's nice and bright blue. And I am gonna fill my primary color. So what we have right now is yellow, red, and blue. We started like with the Y, so yellow and red on top and blue on the bottom. Very good. I'll wait for everybody to finish this part for a few more minutes. And the next part we can get started will be starting, so you can see. So we're gonna go between the yellow and the red. So we can start with red and painting half of the leaf red. Then we're gonna clean our brush. We're gonna load up yellow. We're gonna paint half of the leaf yellow, and you will see in the middle how they connect. We should start getting orange. So we're gonna bring some yellow into the red, and we're gonna get a red into the yellow as well, and it's gonna turn into beautiful orange. If you put too much red, that's okay. Again, use your little piece of paper towel, and you can lift some extra color if you think you need to lift some extra color, and just blend the orange in. If you make a mistake, you can always use your paper towel. And then we're gonna turn the flower again, and we're gonna now go between blue and yellow. So this side will be blue, this side will be yellow, and then we'll mix them together. And what color is it gonna make? You can start with the yellow on the one side because we had orange, so let's start with the yellow first. And yes, you guessed it. What color is it gonna make? Well, let's see. Keep guessing. And don't put too much blue because it's a very strong blue. So that when they mix, see what happens. And I added too much water too. So be very limiting as far as the water. Just it takes very, very little water, almost none at all, to blend these colors. Use your sponge really, and just add only minimal water with your sponge. Okay, so if you have a sponge on your desk, instead of using water, just go into your sponge and add moisture from the sponge. That way you're not going to have too much water on your painting. So you should make a pretty green, and it's okay if you get a different shade than mine. Each blue is slightly different, of course. Or maybe you put a little more yellow than blue. If you want a little more blue, just a tiny little bit of blue will change the light green into a much, much darker green, as you can see here. I just did that. And I feel like it's almost too green, so I'm gonna do what I showed you. I'll pick up a piece of tissue paper. Look at all these textures that I'm getting. It's interesting, huh? Looks almost like a leaf, just by lifting. But I will blend it nicely. But if you like your texture, you can even keep that. So now, the last secondary color because orange is secondary. It's made out of two primary colors, red and yellow. And green is secondary, made out of two primary colors, yellow and blue. So the last secondary color that we're gonna make will be purple. It's gonna be right there, made out of red and blue. From my experience, don't put too much blue. The blue seems to be overwhelming. So just start with the red and add a little bit of blue as you get going, and see if you like that shade of purple, okay? So I'm gonna just cover the whole leaf in this case, instead of doing it half and half, like we normally do. I will color it all red and just add slight shade of blue, and see it's already really dark. And I barely touched the blue to it, but it is turning purple. It has a slight brown tint to it. As you can see, that's okay. And again, if you want to lift some color, I like lifting. See, with the paper towel. Look at all these pretty textures. That is crazy. Pretty. But we're not keeping those textures today unless you like yours. And paint over them. It just removes the excess paint that we don't want today. So now we have secondary colors. We have purple, orange, and green secondary colors. And we have that we made out of the primary, blue, yellow, and red. So I was gonna finish let's make our little key. So blue, yellow, and red are primary, and you can write down primary. I'm gonna do that same. I'm gonna write primary. And we're gonna make a key now for secondary too. So orange, green, and red will be secondary. Oh, sorry, not orange, green, and red. Orange, green, and purple. I wasn't thinking. Orange, green, and purple is secondary. And I'm going to write secondary. So before we're going to start writing out the tertiaries, we're not going to do that. There's not enough space on our paper. But they're going to carry the names of the adjacent colors. So for example, yellow and orange will be mixed out of yellow on one side and orange on the other. It's going to be yellow-orange. These two will create orange-red. This one will be red-violet, violet-blue, green-blue, and yellow-green, which will be like key lime color. Okay, so let's get to it. So for the last layer of colors, we're gonna start again with yellow. Go ahead and cover the whole leaf yellow, and then we'll add a little bit of orange to it, and we're gonna get a yellow-orange. You should give us much lighter shade. I'm sorry, I started painting the orange, so I'm gonna add orange into the whole yellow leaf in the back. It should give us a lighter shade of orange than the original orange. This can be a little challenging to get the shades cooperate with us. If it's too dark, I lifted it a little bit just to make it lighter. So you can see the difference between the orange and the yellow orange. It's much lighter. Next one will be red orange. I'm gonna this time start with orange. And then I'm gonna add some red to it. So it's not too overpowering red, because red is such a strong color. And now we have red orange. I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, so this, see how red and purple, this should be red violet here and not red orange. Red orange was supposed to be in this spot, so I wasn't paying attention. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna erase this one, because this one will be red purple. So I'm just gonna take my paper towel, erase it a little bit, and even if it doesn't clean perfectly, because the red is a darker color, it will actually cover it, no problem. So we're gonna cover it all in red. And then I'm gonna add some violet to it to get the red violet shade, tertiary color. Okay? So sometimes don't get discouraged. Mistakes are made all the time. That's okay, we can fix them. So it should be red violet. The less paint that you use, the better, because the shades are so strong. Okay. Finally, let's do the blue and violet. We'll do blue, a little bit of blue. And a little bit of purple. Will give us a blue purple. Okay. And next one, let's clean the brush. It will be blue green. Very little blue. These petals are small, so don't overdo it. And then green on top will give us blue green. And very last one, see that blue green? And very last one is gonna be the key lime green, or bright spring green, mixed from green and yellow. And we are mixing tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are made from one primary and one secondary color. So yellow, with a hint only of green, so we don't overpower it. Just a little bit. Should give us a nice bright key lime pie green. Again, these colors are so strong, I'm gonna lift some off. I don't like the lifting part. And I'm gonna blend it back again. Okay, so I quite like it. What I think is that the actual black marker helped. So for students, I recommend doing pencils first, then outline it with black marker, and then fill it with color. That way it will pop really nicely, like in this case, and we'll show you a beautiful color wheel flower. And that's all we have. Wow, 19 minutes. That was a long video. Have a good day. Thank you.